Good morning, everybody. Before I get started, I probably should have did this in the first video. I'm still working on it. Make sure if you hate, like, or indifferent, subscribe so you can get all the new content that I'm going to put out. Or so you can just continue to talk trash like you've been doing. And from other people who love it, there's going to be more of it. Good morning. Again, first off, I'm very happy with the results of my previous video. Tea Pot Dome Scandal Kettle Katai, whatever her name is, shares racist and violent posts leading to her husband's termination. I have seen an increase of subscribers as well as an increase of haters. I do believe the entire country of Serbia is a bit disgruntled. How do you say it in Serbian? Neza Dovanjan. Neza Dovanjan. Neza Dovanjan! Did I say that right? Because of this and other factors, I will be responding directly to the comments. 3 positive, but since we love negativity, and since I breed it, apparently, 5 negative comments. Let's go ahead and get started with the positive comments. Let's get those out the way. Alright, so everybody that I'm referencing is in the comment section, so go down and find them. You can talk to them if you want, and whatever. Okay, Butterfly Reyes states, why do racist people love singling out black people? All those different races, but racist whites only focus on blacks. Even we Latinos don't have it bad like that, and we're not allies of white people. You know what it is, Butterfly Reyes? It's in my opinion, it harkens all the way back to slavery. The triangle trade and things like that. And it's been, then again, you had the South and the Civil War. Some people are still irritated about that. And you know what? You're right. Out of all, I've seen it myself. Being in the military, being all over countries, I gotta say, I don't know what it is, but when it comes to certain, not all, when it comes to certain Caucasian people, blacks seem to be on the top of their dislike list. Nowadays, though, sometimes you have Middle Easterns, and depending on if you're in like California, Arizona, something like that, Latinos aren't far away. But you know what it is, though, in my opinion? You ever try to keep somebody down and they just keep on taking it in stride, they keep on persevering, they make things cool, you insult them, they turn that into a fad. Everything that you do, they make it better, football, basketball, in some cases soccer. That's what I would say. You've seen it on TV, you've seen some people say it. Some people, some white people, they just are scared because black people are strong. I mean, think about it. At the forming of this country, because, another race that gets picked on a lot is Native Americans. But they had schools to reform Native Americans. Even early in this country's development, there seemed to be some type of regard, not a good one, some type of safeguard for other races. But blacks, Africans, African Americans, we had to teach ourselves how to read. It was all on us, So that is I can make a video about that by itself. That's a good comment. Belly Gorod chimes in. He says, I agree with you. You butchered the name. I did it intentionally. I probably did butcher the name. But I find it funny that a failed singer from my country made so many Americans angry. Also, things are not all that bad in Serbia. Sure, we're not a wealthy country, but it's not horrible. I mean, it would be a lot better if we killed all of our politicians, but that ain't happening soon. Alright, so I'm glad somebody listen. Maybe I should have specified. I was kidding. Serbia is not a bad country. I didn't mean to dunk on Serbia that bad. What I did read was factual. It is one of the poorest countries in the Balkans, and your GDP is around 7K. It is. That is fact. Okay? You can't breathe underwater. The sky is blue. Jupiter is a gaseous planet, the largest planet in the solar system, and Serbia's GDP is around 7K. Okay? But, again, back to the Serbia. I was kidding around. I wasn't joking around about saying if a travel agent offered you a 3-day weekend at Belgrade, would you go? Some people would. Most people wouldn't. In Serbia, listen, if somebody walks up to you in Belgrade and says, hey, we're going to give you a 3-day, we're going to give you a week paid free trip to Alabama, and that's in the United States. Listen to me, people of Serbia, don't go. Alabama sucks. And if anybody in the United States is looking at this and they get mad, tough. You know Alabama's a flyover state and you know it. The only thing they got there is the tide, roll tide or whatever. I don't think Serbia's that bad. There are worse places. Killing your politicians, I don't advocate violence. You shouldn't either. Alright, so Jessica Parker agrees. Yes, sir. I love imagining what the argument was like after they dropped him on his ass. I could tell you exactly what happened. The wife was like, Alexander! And Alexander was like, Nisa Tomanyan! Maybe. So those are the 3 positives. Let's go down to the negatives. SR7-Play says, you're no different from T because she is stupid and racist. And you're being racist to all Serbs. Why do you think you should badmouth the whole nation because one of our individual? Why mention her children? What the hell is wrong with you? SR7-Plays. Me and T are not the same. Well, actually, we do have a similarity. We're both talking trash about each other, I guess, in a sense. You know what? I'll go ahead and say it. I'm not an expert on Serbia. She's not an expert on geopolitical events that are happening in America. But I know more about her. I know more about what I'm talking about than she does. It's just the fact. As far as you being racist to all Serbs, listen, racism, the word ism behind any other word is the belief that something is better than other. Never have I mentioned that Serbians were inferior. I did say I would rather vacation somewhere else than going to Serbia. So in that case, you could say that I'm being no, I'm not being racist. Serbia is not at the top of my top 15 most, top 15 top destinations. I don't want to go there. As far as badmouthing the nation, again, it was factual. I did not intend to badmouth the nation. You have my apologies. Why mention her children? Listen, I didn't mention her children. She has one. She has a child. All I said was I feel bad for that child. Why do I mention it? Because someone needs to. Racism and ignorance, that shit is taught. You're not born with that. So maybe if she sees this video and she sees what I'm saying, do not have your child develop to be into you. Maybe she would stop it. And that's one less ignoramus in the world. Children are innocent. I said that in the video. Alright, next comment. Andrew Selazin. He said, pants up, don't loot. Okay, man. Pants up, don't loot. So I guess that's a perversion of hands up, don't shoot. I see what you did there. You changed it around. You're clever. You're a bad boy. You took a very important phrase and then you dropped it on its head. And then you said pants up because you think that African Americans sag when in reality a lot of people sag. And then you're like, don't loot because again, you think that looting and sagging is exclusive to African Americans. You're clever. Alright, what's the next one? Artistic Thunder. I'm black and I'm against Black Lives Matter. Okay, first of all, again, anybody can say anything on the internet. Prove that you're black. Okay? Secondly, Eminem is white and he's against country music. Like, what do you want me to say about what? I'm black and I'm against Black Lives Matter. Okay, man. That's your right. You don't have to be for Black Lives Matter. You're black. Okay. Cool. I think. I tell you what, though. If you are black and you're against Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean you're going to be accepted into the KKK or any other group that you might want to get into, you know. They're never really going to accept you at Turning Point USA. You'll just be a clown and have your PayPal suspended, or your GoFundMe suspended like Candace Owens. So if you're one of those weirdo cornball black Republicans that wear jean jackets everywhere with the weird glasses and they talk funny, and yeah, I'm generalizing all of you because all of you sound the same to me. Well, congratulations, man. You're against Black Lives Matter. Fine. You're black, and I guess you think all lives matter, which is true, but you're not understanding the concept, if that's the case. I have yet to see a white man get straddled to death for 8 minutes by a white cop, or a black cop for that matter. I mean, I could go even further. Could you imagine? We don't play the if game here, but could you imagine if it was reversed? Could you imagine if it was a black guy on the neck of a white dude? Come on. Come on. So you're for Blue Lives Matter, I'm assuming, right? Tell me something. If Blue Lives Matter was so legit, why did it happen off of Black Lives Matter? How come Blue Lives Matter didn't exist before Black Lives Matter? Think about it. All right. And then the last comment is Nathaniel. I can't say his last name. Her husband did nothing wrong, though. Okay, so in closing, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Nathaniel, her husband did nothing wrong. You're correct. But he is guilty by association. think of it like this, Nathaniel. Let's pretend that you are an owner of a business. And what does a business do? What is their function? To make profits. What's the greatest way to make profits? Make goods and services to all people. You need to be inclusive to everyone if you want to maximize your gains. So the opposite of maximizing your gains would be like losing a revenue stream, because you're not maximizing. Now you're crumpling your gains. This is just my, let me get into it. Anyways, so you have a multinational athletic football team, and your team has blacks, whites, Asians, Chinese, all types of fans, all humans, right? Your main star has a racist, plastic, big lip, bimbo looking, big headed, failed singing, maybe she's from Sweden, maybe she's not, I don't know, wife that posts a racist post, and a violent and racist post in the middle of this racial and economic turmoil, right? What ends up happening is, by keeping him on the team and with her doing what she did, you are now alienating some of your consumers. Now they're gonna pull out. They're gonna start canceling promotions and ads, and they're gonna start pulling out endorsements and stuff like that. Because as long as that racist scumbag who is married to that soccer star is attached to your team, he's bringing down your brand and your name. So you have to do damage control. He did apologize, yes, and I accept his apology. I feel bad for the husband. Unfortunately, though, that is your wife, and the damage has been done. You gotta go. So they paid him off, and then that's it. The lesson here is, and this goes for everybody. This is not just for people that are in athletics. This is for professional life, anything. Teachers, when you're attached to somebody that's in the public eye, or social media in itself, you gotta be careful with the things you say. Yes, you do have an amendment. You can say whatever you want. Freedom of speech. But freedom of speech does not equal freedom from consequences, okay? So if you're, and that's another thing, you're on a team with all different people from all different nationalities. You can't have your wife saying racial things. It's contradictory to everything. If she, you have to get rid of her somehow. Well, not get rid of her, you have to get rid of him. Because the more that person stays, it's a stain. It's a cancer. There's fights and arguments and divisions inside the team. And since I was about to say Serbia, something about civil wars, Lincoln once said, "A house divided cannot stand." So the potential outweighed the positives of letting him stay. It's best to just pay him off and get him out of there. That's one less distraction, and it shows everybody, hey, we don't accept racism around here, or any post. And it also serves as a warning to anybody else that might make the same mistake. The husband did nothing wrong, but he is associated to a racist, big-lipped scumbag whose profession is homemaking and influencing bimbos. So, and now bigotry. Let's add that to the list of impressive accomplishments. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm about to get out of here. It's 13 minutes. I wish it was sooner. There was other comments I wanted to address. Like, some people felt like she didn't do anything wrong. To those people, you're an idiot.